What is up, everybody? Welcome to our live stream. It's good to see all of you here today. We want to do a recap of, I don't know if you can say the week or the month or whatever has been happening in Africa.
Yeah.
Starting with your comments, we have videos that we've been posting every single day. And for us to get connected or to keep the connection with you guys, we love to read your comments. Sometimes we reply. Some comments are just, you just have to leave them alone. But let's just read some of your comments on issues that have been happening in Africa. All right. So there's this video that says, "Is Niger in trouble after military coup?" It's a recent video. I think it was uploaded today. So Crossas Delta says, "No African country should ever place sanctions against another African country." I couldn't agree further or more to this. All right. And then Renee Black, our beautiful sister. Thank you, sis. We always see in the comment section. We love you. She says, "Why don't leaders realize that when you starve your own people is what led to needing aid in the first place? This is atrocious." Definitely. All right, let's go to more videos so that we can get to see what you guys are saying in some of these videos. There's this one on Europe is preparing a new war with Africa. Europeans reveal the secret. Africa must get ready. Someone says this is the power of ideas. Yeah, he says 100% true, and African leaders should watch this video. One thing that guy did not say is that Europe has a lot of things to do with Africa's underdevelopment. So there's this white guy who was saying that Africans are selling their own minerals to the West. So it's not
our
like
state's leader.
Yeah, it's the state leaders. It's not like they're exploiting or stealing from us. So this one says African leaders must watch this video. All right. You can maybe look at other comments. I think this one had a heated debate. Africa listens to Malema.
When they voted in unison at the UN.
Yeah, you can just check.
So it says, Africa youth, you are the future of Africa continent, but you are not united for reality. Look what is happening in Gaza as soon as 20 Arab League generation. Yeah, that is very true. That is from USA. That is very complicated. Archbishop Corinne Shima says, Africa unite, one African nations become one great nation. Amen. And the most highest of high almighty creator of all.
Africa generation, you're absent, together lost our future. We can believe justice and rescue. I'm unfortunately not understanding that.
Africa generation, you're absent, together lost our future.
Or your failure to unite.
Unite led to, then it's what is affecting us. Yes.
All right. More and more comments. Let's go to another video. All right. So there's this video on Niger becoming the fourth growing economy in Africa.
Globally.
Globally, and then first in Africa. All right, so we have a comment.
Ludwig says, allow outside Africans to come home. You can vet blacks outside and see who are truth African. Let the true ones come. That is very true, and we've been seeing it happening in Ghana, where they had the year of return. And there's something that most activists of African descent usually say. It's only Africans or people of African descent who will help Africa develop.
Yeah.
Right now, we are seeing all the presidents of Africa saying, hey, we're looking for investors from where? Europe, America. But when we look at the investors they are talking about, it's the white saviors.
Of course.
But we always say, and even Mama Arikana usually say, why can't our brothers and sisters in the US or in the UK unite and create something like she did with the African diaspora, ADOA, or something?
Is it still?
Yeah, it's still
going on?
Yeah, it's still going on.
There was a hype during COVID.
Yeah, I think it's still, they even
Mhm.
have a website. So they unite and come and invest in Africa. Like
Mhm.
Akon
Mhm.
say he has invested in minerals in Congo. He's buying diamonds from the Congo. You see
Mhm.
something like that.
Mhm.
Because if it's our people doing that, it's easy to tell them, hey, you are brothers and sisters, get this
True.
land that they were given in,
Mhm.
like they were given in Ghana,
Mhm.
and start processing your gold, your iron
Mhm.
ore here, and create employment rather than taking it there. Build your home here, bring your families here.
Mhm.
You are one of us. Just
Mhm.
live with us.
Yeah.
That way we'll grow.
Mhm.
And apart from now talking about people who have been raised outside or people of African descent, we have Africans who moved out of Africa
Mhm.
because of the brain drain. We call them the brain drain.
Mhm.
Because you are learned, you
You
go
go
out.
and seek doctors, Nigerian, a lot of doctors from
Mhm.
Nigeria.
So they can come back and build a big hospital.
Yeah.
Like you find in most African countries, big hospitals which have quality healthcare are built by Indians.
Of course.
Can't we have that and be charging people like the way they charge, or even at a lower cost?
Yeah. People fly, like in Kenya. I think I've seen people flying from Kenya to India to seek
Yeah.
medical treatment. Some go to South Africa. And these hospitals that they go to are not African. It's private hospitals, especially in South Africa.
Yeah.
You find that they are going to very private hospitals owned by white people. It's not even Africans who own those hospitals. So I don't know. We can do it, but
Yeah, we can do it.
there's that fear. I think it's fear mostly for Africans that if I do it and it doesn't work, let me just rather be employed by this white person who has
Yeah.
gotten it
No,
established.
I think we have a problem because we have featured guys. Like for example, we featured a guy in this channel, a Kenyan. His name is Roy Alela. He created a glove which apparently can decode the sign language into using through Bluetooth into a mobile app which you listen. So when someone is signing, you can hear them. The former president of Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta, recognized him. He was given awards. This year, they did a copycat somewhere in Europe, and that one is being recognized as
And they'll say they are the ones who discovered,
novel.
who started,
Yeah,
who
yeah. But the good thing is we have the online.
Evidence,
Yeah, we
yeah.
have evidence. But they can also delete. But we have our people looking out onto it. But if it was somewhere like China, this guy would have been given a lot of funding,
upscale the project,
upscale the project,
sell it to Africans all
Africans
over the world.
and all over the world, and he would have employed a lot of people. That is our problem. We need to come together and support our own.
It's easier said than done. All right, someone says, yeah.
So I think it's good we look into what caught an eye.
All right.
In the
But this is an important comment by Geoffrey. He says, without West African countries, France will be a third world country. They are rich through exploitation of Africa. I totally agree.
Yeah,
France is nothing without West Africa, without all these Francophone countries. Zero.
But do you know the Minister of Foreign Affairs saying yesterday? He said that they are not leaving, they are not stopping their partnership with Africa.
All right.
That means they still have a hand in, because those are only 3 countries. The rest they are still having hold on
until the coups come.
Yeah.
All right, take us along.
So we are going to look at what caught an eye on the African arena this week. Guys, remember, in South Africa, next year they'll be having elections.
2024 is our 1994.
Yeah, and everybody is excited about Julius Malema because we are hoping that 2024 will be the new...
will be their 1994
for South Africa.
Yeah.
And most people are very excited about this.
Hi, Marianne.
Hi, Marianne. So most people are very excited about this. And last weekend they had this, I can call it event, where they were calling people, young people, to get registered
Is
to
it
vote.
campaigning?
Yeah, we can call it campaigning.
Or sensitization?
Yeah,
Whatever.
and they reported that of just last weekend, over 1 million youths were registered to join EFF, and 568,000 young people were first-time voters. So people are very excited because they are saying, yeah, these are young people who have been influenced by EFF. They want new South Africa, new Africa, and now they are voting for Malema. And it was everywhere on Twitter.
I can't be excited, at least not now, because those people can disappoint you. Do you know what people do? They'll hype you.
Yeah.
But when it gets to the point where now they have to tick or cross that ballot paper, you can never trust people. It's like these people who give guys money to vote for them. You know, your vote is your secret.
Yeah.
So you are never sure until the results are out. So it's good that we are seeing a lot of young people waking up through the help of EFF. Awaken Malema has been awakening a lot of South Africans in that country. So I won't be excited until I see Malema being the president of South Africa. That would be the one to say.
That would be a game changer.
Yeah.
But we are excited.
South Africa, and Sava, guys.
and we're keeping the slogan. 2024 is the new 1994.
Yeah. And why 2024 is 1994? You know, 1994 is when they got their independence from after apartheid, and and then 30 years later, it's 30 years, right?
Yeah.
30 years later, the ANC has been the ruling party. So I think for them, they want to see a change in governance, a change in the direction that South Africa will take, and hopefully being led by young person who understands their issues better. Because abantu bathi uBaba Ramaphosa mdala, he needs to relax, he needs to go back home and rest. But when it gets to the point where now they are voting, people get emotional. They vote ANC because my grandmother was ANC, because, my great-grandfathers belong to the party. So I don't know what kind of sensitization we need for Africans to say it's not about your tribe. In Kenya, we see a lot of young people voting for a president just because he's from their tribe. Not even because of his manifesto, just because I don't want that other tribe to be in power. So that's the same problem that South Africans are having. Some would love EFF to be in power. Some would love Malema to be the next president. But just because your parents who have been affiliated with ANC for the longest time, you feel like you're betraying your family history.
Yeah, and
big problem.
I can say a lot of young Africans are waking up, for sure. And you find that they might not follow their parents who voted for ANC,
exactly.
and those who are aligned with, when we talk about Mandela, you're like emotional, default.
Yeah, it's the old people.
And I've seen on social media, especially Twitter, people saying that the ANC has been in bed with the white supremacists in South Africa for quite some time. So I don't know that, but one thing for sure is a lot of young people are waking up and they are looking forward to a change. Yeah.
And let's hope that will happen in the whole of Africa. Just recently, we were so disappointed by the Liberian president. For me, it was a disappointment, guys. I don't know if he's a great guy or the next biggest thing for Africa, but the age is just so... It's a big problem for me, because why do we always put these old people in power? They are tired. They need to rest. We have the energy. We have the ideas. Young people are so creative.
How old is the
Liberian president?
I wonder.
He just looks tired. You don't even have to know his age. And then you wonder, even in Nigeria, I still wonder, really, honestly, guys, is there someone who really took their time, woke up, went to vote for Tinubu, a young person, honestly, who wants to see change in their country? The same Somalia, everyone wants their clan. You see, that's the problem that we have.
Yeah, that's the problem. And I can say it's mostly because I don't know. I can say we have like this old mentality of, if this happens to our people, this person will serve us. It will be put at the front line of development. But it never happens. It never happens. Yeah. But another thing is, when you look at those old people that we are voting for, those people believe in the white savior.
Of course.
All of them. If you go everywhere in Africa, you find those people believe in the white savior.
Mhm.
But look at someone like Malema if he became president.
Ah, man.
Look at someone like Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso.
He's president,
That
and we are
guy
seeing it already.
He's not even depending on the Europe and
Mhm.
US to do anything, or
Mhm.
Mali or Niger now.
Mhm.
But they are coming together as Africans, the
Mhm.
Alliance of Sahel States, and trying to work together towards reaching the same goal
You
of
see?
developing their nations for them.
And I think we have already seen the example of a young guy in leadership.
Mhm.
Thomas Sankara was young.
He was
did a
around
lot
the
in
age,
his
same age.
yeah, in his 4 years, he did a lot. So I don't know where the fear is for us guys to say we need an old guy to lead us. I don't know if it's because of our
Yeah.
African culture, respect. You feel like your elders know better than you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually most tribes of or nationalities
Don't like Malema to become president. Why? Why? Please let us know.
So most
Mhm.
nationalities or tribes of Africa,
Mhm.
we had the young people being the protectors
Mhm.
and the old people being the leaders.
Of course.
I think that's the
Oh,
reason,
it's our-
especially those
Mhm.
ones which did not have one leader like a king.
Mhm.
You know, when it's a king, someone could have become a king when they are
To
like
the young
16,
age,
you know,
yeah,
because
yeah.
the parents died.
Yeah, in Swaziland, I think I don't know. I've forgotten the certain age where the mother, the queen,
Mhm.
holds the position.
mother,
The queen
yeah.
mother holds for their son until they reach a certain age. I think it's 16 or 7. I'm not very sure.
Mhm.
And then at that age now they can become the king of that country. So it's still a young guy in leadership,
Yeah.
and we still have young chiefs in power as a chief, a whole chief who's still in high school.
Yeah,
So
and I saw that for
Mhm.
the Borana people,
Mhm.
who are also called the people Oromifa
Mhm.
of Ethiopia and Kenya.
Mhm.
And actually their leader, the one who's supposed to be king, was in campus, just went for the first
see?
year, and was like, now you have to be the king of the Oromifa people. And was he had to leave and become the king. Now he's king today.
Yeah, there's a video of Ibrahim Traore going to campuses, to a campus where he studied, I think it's geography. The guy, the way he relates with the students, you can see that this is a guy who just maybe in the last 20 or 10 years graduated. He still has that connection.
Yeah.
Imagine if a guy like Tinubu went to that same campus or to his campus, it would feel like you have your father sitting in front of you trying to lecture you.
Yeah.
So there's a huge disconnect. Is it Marianne?
Marianne says, I say the West don't like Malema to become president.
Oh,
yeah, that's the problem. And if they are able to manipulate the voting in South Africa, we'll still have ANC.
Which we fear.
Then Sophia Stefanas says, Julius Malema is ANC baby born free youth and a young leadership. Yes.
Hey, Malema definitely he was the youth leader of ANC. He got his training. I think most of his knowledge and training and understanding of politics can be traced to ANC, which I think they did
and do you
a
remember
good job.
When he was in Kenya, he said they were chased out of ANC.
Yeah, he was fired.
He was chased out of ANC.
He didn't resign, he was fired.
If you don't relate with these guys and you see they are not doing things, it's in goodwill that you leave and you go and serve the people.
And it's great that he went and started something that, is bringing positive change in the society. Well, I don't know, South Africans have mixed feelings about Malema. So Julius Malema enjoyed ANC cash bride scandals, luxury life, living conditions belonging to South Africa. He has disowned those allegations. He says he's never been to the houses of this rich white minority. He says that himself. I don't know. I don't know. So I cannot, speak for him on that one. But he says himself that he has never benefited. He's never been in the corruption of the ANC. I don't know.
Yeah, and if there's one thing that that kills us as Africans, and we need to be very careful about it, is propaganda. We may not know the truth.
It's true.
We only need to listen to the person and look at this history.
Yeah, even listening, people always give you the whatever you want to hear. So even listening, it's like this guy. There's a video. I don't know if we're gonna upload it this week. Of Mordecai.
Oh,
This guy
Mordecai
says we must be,
Uganda.
yeah, it's a Kenyan guy.
Yeah.
He says we must be very careful about the media
Yeah.
that we consume, because they manipulate the news to fit their narrative. So
He has a
we are in
video.
trouble.
He has he had a presentation, and it's on YouTube, which is called "Who Controls the Narrative Around Nature Preservation." But that was in preservation. But we only see as only the white people
Yeah.
can preserve our national parks, our protected areas, which are protected against us, among other things.
And they are always in the forefront.
Yeah.
Their organizations are the ones that, there are so many in Africa.
Yeah, and
They're the ones leading this.
and even their media. If you look at CNN, it's in Africa. BBC, it's in Africa. So, and these are the people who go push the propaganda out,
Yes.
and the people are used to watching the news of those guys, and they'll be like, this guy is a criminal. We cannot vote for him. Yeah.
Very unfortunate. Do you have another
So,
topic?
also this week we saw, or last week we saw Argentina voting in a new president, a crazy guy. Some people are saying that he's like the Trump of Argentina. Some are saying he's like aligned to the US, because he said that he's going to replace the Argentinian money, which is, I think, pesos, with the dollar. Then he said he doesn't see any need to join BRICS.
Not our problem.
Imagine.
Let them swim themselves in problems.
You know
Don't
why I said that? Maybe this is a chance for another African country to look into joining BRICS.
Yeah, but
replacing Argentina. Yeah.
Africa, these leaders that we have. Do you see any potential leader that is more open-minded? You know, my problem with these guys, they will speak whatever you want to listen.
When they want to be voted in.
It's not even about voting. President William Samoei Ruto, mastermind of speech. President of Ghana.
Yeah. Good.
You will listen, you will be nodding your head like, wow. Oh my God. And I've seen a lot of guys commenting in our videos that, wow, why are you talking and there's no action on the ground? So those are the kind of leaders that we have.
I hope he's doing something on the ground in Rwanda.
Yesterday, Somalia joins East African community. Hopefully that brings us some good economy. Yay.
Yeah, that's amazing. Because and I hope, I wish I wish East African community worked like the way we are hoping is to work. But we've seen Kenya blocking things from Uganda.
Yeah.
You know these things, economic
hiking
communities are supposed to be like, you are going to produce an excess of electricity so that you can supply to us. Then we are going to produce this and we are going to bring it to you. As in, we divide on what we need to.
Exactly.
Not like Kenya has to produce everything and block some. It doesn't work that way. Like in South Sudan, it's been years. Those guys don't have power access. They use generators. Although nowadays it's like they are starting to get electricity. And we have Ethiopia, which is selling electricity to Kenya. Uganda sells electricity to Kenya. That's how it's supposed to be. So probably Somalia
working together. It's like, it's a connection. You have this, I don't have it. Okay, let's see how. Do you know, in Africa, I think long ago, our systems were like, if you maybe have harvested a lot of maize in your farm, and I have a lot of pumpkins, I can give you 5 pumpkins, you give me maybe a bag of maize. So we are all living in harmony. If you have a lot of cows or goats, I don't have meat in my home, I can give you whatever I have. So that's the kind of system that we should. Now democracy came.
And I think Ethiopia and Somalia are one of the biggest producers of livestock, like meat, beef. You see, they can supply to the other countries. Then something like minerals, oil. These countries like Somalia is very rich in these minerals. Could be supplying to us, like the Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania. It could work perfectly. But we are seeing Congo joined DRC, joined the East African community. But have we been seeing anything positive except that they sent the East African community military to help in ending the war, but they are still fighting.
Except that they had a meeting on rainforest, protecting our rainforests in Congo.
No, that's something else. That is the agenda of
Very
President
useless
Ruto.
agendas.
Yeah, so Sophia Stephanie says some SWSP youth,
SWAPO.
SWAPO, okay, SWAPO Youth League, SPYL, wanted to sue SWAPO party for betrayal with fast fish rod cash bribes for them. SWAPO party women council.
I wish you can enlighten us more about this one, Sophia. I'm not very much knowledgeable about SWAP and what is happening. So maybe if you can explain, we can know
That is
what
in
is
South
happening.
Africa.
I think so.
Right now, everybody in South Africa is talking about rand manipulation.
Yeah.
The banks manipulated the rand so that the economy can go down.
You see, it's like this load shedding. Malema
It's
says
also-
it's man-made. It's Ramaphosa's project.
They said it will be over by December.
Yeah, imagine if
Yeah.
it's possible. If Malema keeps complaining, if the load shedding issue can be finished when there's a rugby game, it means that we're just wasting our time on this. And he says that it's done so that it can be privatized, yeah. And then this guy is the companies that belong to, I don't want to say names yet because
they can purchase the
exactly,
shares.
and then they can be the one to control that
Do you know-
sector.
Do you know people usually push, especially the IMF and World Bank, they push for
Privatization of companies. Yeah.
But do you know that is usually one of the worst thing you can ever do? Because even in China, they used public companies to raise the economy. But privatization, it's like giving people what the government should be
doing.
Yeah.
But China is just a different case because for China, if it's private, if it's public, it works like it's private.
Exactly. That's how
systems
it
are
should be.
straight.
Yeah.
No corruption. Civil servants know their work. Mama mia. If you go to a public office anywhere in Africa, I swear,
it's crazy. Even
I
the
have
immigration.
not gone to any office in any country, even at their border gates and border posts. They just work as if you have to pay them at that point for them to do their job.
Yeah, and
So-
there are a lot of corruption and all that. But in China, corruption is very low because
Yeah.
if you're caught with corruption, you face it.
Yeah.
So there's this thing that is a lot of people are talking about, and it started with the president of Kenya. Whenever he goes anywhere, he talks about climate change, carbon finance, climate
energy.
financing, green energy, and all that. But there's a lot that people have been speaking about online, something on carbon credit, and a lot of countries are selling their forests to some
Foreign companies.
especially from Dubai, so that they can get paid for this carbon credit. It's like you sell your forest, you lease it for, let's say, 50 years. Then this company will be conserving trees, planting trees, doing whatever they want with the forest, and being paid by some other company which is polluting from Europe, by buying the carbon credits so that they can continue polluting.
And develop themselves. Once you are going green.
Yeah, because then for us, we are being pushed to go green and all that. You understand?
Can you give us an example of a company that has done that?
So, okay, they are starting, but this is something that has been quite there for some time. When you hear about carbon credits and climate financing. So, you, for example,
I'm a country.
You plant trees and all that.
Yeah.
Then we'll come and buy carbon credits. So, I am a company in Europe, and I produce a lot of carbon dioxide, which now is
Polluting
speculated to increase global warming and bring about climate change. So I'll come to you because in Europe it's very expensive.
You come to my country
to buy these credits. They say for 1 ton of carbon, or for me to pollute to pollute 1 ton of carbon, I need to pay between $100 and $400. But
Pay
enough
who? Who do you pay?
now the person who has a forest.
Mhm.
If it's the government of Italy,
Mhm.
you know.
Mhm.
But if I come to Africa to buy carbon credits,
Mhm.
I'll come to Kenya, for example, and I'll buy 1 ton of carbon
Mhm.
at $4,
Yeah, of
less
course,
than five.
it's always cheaper in Africa.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's what they are doing. They are looking into Africa as a very good place to buy these things.
Mhm.
So
And to
what?
continue polluting from their side.
Yeah. So if I go to Congo, there's Congo forest. So I can buy as many carbon credits as I want. If I buy like 1 million carbon credits, those are a lot of tons that I can pollute. Then I go back to my country and I continue doing my things, producing cars, polluting as we develop our country, you know.
And they buy this forest, for example, let's call it buying a forest. I doubt they will just take any forest where it's just going to be
Yeah.
tree planting and all of that. It's forests like that, this rainforest that we have seen in Congo just recently when Chief Ekunja was like, you are not going to exploit or you are not going to dig oil from our forest. So it's a forest like that one in Congo where they know that we will benefit twice here. We will be digging our oil and then we will be claiming that we are buying carbon credits and
they could do that.
So they exploit, go develop themselves in the name of this is our forest. We are buying the carbon credits from this place.
I don't know what they will do once they have it. Once they lease for 50 years, probably they could mine in hindsight, because this is what is happening. Once they lease the forest, they are supposed to plant trees so that these trees can be the one that captures carbon from the atmosphere and reduces the carbon emissions in the air. But now imagine once they have the forest, it's their own for 50 years.
So they can
decide to, so nobody will be accessing the forest. It's only them. So in hindsight, they can be mining the gold
Minerals.
and whatever. Then they rehabilitate, and 50 years is a lot. Even 30 years
Plant
is a lot
trees.
of time. Then they plant trees. They already extracted the gold. Then nobody follows this. Then what happens is the company that is buying, like there's a company from Dubai that is called Blue something. The company that is buying is leasing the forest will be the one that is, because it will pay the government, like let's say $2 million. But when the companies from Europe, the companies that are supposed to pollute come, they will pay this company, and they paid the government 2 million, they get paid $1 billion. So you see, it's a business. So these guys are the ones which make money. And for example, there are countries that have already sold these forests, list the forests. And the big problem is, for example, in Kenya, the blue company from Dubai already signed a contract, and there are reports that there are people who live in the forest, in the Mau forest of Kenya. They are called Ogiek. They are being chased out of the forest, which is
because it's now being sold.
And this, remember, this is their home,
natural habitat.
Yeah,
This is the only place they know is home.
Because they live in harmony with the trees, they
nature,
live
with the animals.
Yeah, these guys, the Ogiek, are for people who live in the forest. They are hunters and gatherers. You see, so they are supposed to live in the forest and protect the forest, get food from the forest. But just 2 weeks ago, the government of Kenya was chasing them out. And there are reports that the government of Kenya has already given or leased this company 24.5 million acres of land in that forest. So you see, the people are being ejected because it's now belongs to someone else, which is very wrong.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. Then there's Liberia. Liberia has reached an MOU with the company Blue Carbon to sign away 10% of its total forest mass, which amount to 1 million hectares to a period of 30 years. That is Liberia. And Liberia is very rich in minerals. Then Tanzania has given away 8 million hectares of forest.
Liberia, just before we Liberia, the president has just gotten
so he will find an MOU.
30 years, and he was talking about protecting the minerals, making sure that they benefit the population, the poor, and whatever. And then you find all this mess, and then that's why we always wonder, Why are our presidents failing us?
Yeah.
So you find that you inherit problems
Mhm.
and then you bring more problems into the table. By the time the next president comes, it's more and more and more problems. And they also have their interests.
Yeah, I wonder if he'll be able to revoke this MOU.
So the only thing we need here is coups. You have seen with Burkina Faso. These agreements that they have to sign with France, nonsensical agreements. You have to use, I don't know, you have to
Yeah,
be part of us
mhm.
when this happens.
You have to let us mine your
You know, we have
minerals.
to be the first ones,
Mm.
priority to buy minerals. If you don't want,
You have
then
to
we
use
can tell you
French as your
your
language.
language. You know,
Yeah. So that is Liberia. Then Tanzania has given 8 million hectares of forests. That is
same blue
Suluhu.
carbon. Mhm.
Yeah, Suluhu has given. Then the Zambia. Zambia has given 8 million hectares. Zimbabwe has given 7.5 million hectares. Kenya has given 24.5 million hectares. So there's a lot that is happening.
Do you guys know Kaisorian Empire? It's YouTube channel. A guy from Kenya does live streams. Never come
No.
across the
No,
channel.
no, no.
We'll
But
check
thank
him
you so
out.
much. We are going
Thanks.
to check on him. Yeah. So this is the main thing that is happening. People are crying about it because, and apart from this, even in the Congo, a lot of companies are going there to lease land in the forest so that they can start doing this business.
Even Zimbabwe is
Yeah, 7.5 million
Mnangagwa.
hectares. Yeah, million hectares of forest land. But my question is, can't we Africans, I don't know what happens to our president when they become presidents. Because if I was the president and there's something like this, I would rally my young people and tell them, hey guys, this is a new thing that you can make money out of it. So young people who are conservatives, conservative,
they take the lead.
yeah,
the lead.
I tell them, hey, register several companies. Hey, you call yourself green carbon, call yourself hydro something, call yourself whatever name you want, call yourself Suluhu, Mazingira. Then come and I'll give you a piece of forest to conserve. And you know what you are going to do with the forest. Then with your companies, I'm going to introduce you to these big companies which want to buy, and you can sell it at whatever price you want. Then we will tax you.
In
You know?
Africa.
I don't know what is happening. And they see these opportunities, but they don't want to give us these opportunities. The only thing that he can do is go to Germany and move
And get a
200,000
standing ovation. Where was he when he was getting
the
standing ovation?
European Union Parliament. But now getting 200,000 jobs for
Young
Africans,
Africans.
it doesn't make sense when you are selling our jobs, you know. So we go out there as slaves once we can stay here and make money out of something like that.
Some things we can only dream, we can only hope for until
Yeah.
such a time when Africans will wake up and start putting young people with visions for their continent and for their people.
So Mariam is saying if you become president, it's difficult because the West will
That's the
control you
problem.
if you're trying to do something good. Yes, that
That's
is
the
the problem. And one very big problem is the Western democracy that we have, like democratic elections, require a lot of money for you to become president, like the campaigns and all that.
And they sponsor you.
So what they do is they sponsor you, and once you are sponsored by them,
You are
you
never
dance to their tune.
You are never you.
And that's why you see our president running. And we get a new president, and he's running to realize some immoral things. Sorry to say, immoral things. They are immoral. And someone will rush to legalize GMO. Some will run to, bring things that are not even safe to the country.
The reason I always say I wish and I long for it, I hope God will keep us alive to see Malema becoming the president of South Africa, because that guy faces them like he's facing, his colleagues, and he's not scared. And then he says that there will come a time, we should be the generation that would be, even if it's not our time, they should know that we were never scared of them. We were never, we were, we were never worried about about what they say or how they want to control our narrative. We should be the ones taking control of our narrative. So I don't know. Maybe the kind of presidents that we need is people like that.
Yeah, but you know, there are other ways in which we can have these elections that are not so in a way that it's not being manipulated. But I don't know if Africans will want that, because they want this because even the people of a country also are able to manipulate this. You can buy votes, you can pay
Right.
the electoral
Elections,
commission.
commissions, yeah,
Yeah.
board.
Yeah. So it's like that. But anyway, you saw the video that we are talking about on a white guy saying that it's our states leaders who sell our minerals and it's not the Europe people selling. He also said that they need to get prepared because Africa is growing at a very high rate, both technologically and militarily, and they are scared that
There shall soon be a war
they will soon be war
between Africa and Europe.
between Africa and Europe.
Someone is saying Europe, France especially, is nothing without Africa, West Africa.
Yeah, all those countries. But now they are scared. You know, every time they see, for example, the Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, they came together and created Alliance of Sahel states, away from the ECOWAS that is a puppet. They are scared.
Scary. And Africans rallying behind them. That's
Yeah.
the scariest thing,
And-
because
and-
their propaganda is no more working.
Another thing that's crazy is, you know, when there was COVID and there was this the X, that is Twitter. Twitter was Twitter, not X. You could not say anything that was against what they want people to
Deleted.
know. Your account will be deleted and all that. But now they cannot do that. And imagine they tried that with Palestine. And Israel just lost the propaganda war.
Yeah.
Because now they would say this, and people who are rallying behind Palestine would say, that's a lie. This is what is happening.
Yeah.
They even brought about this case of that kids are being killed by the Hamas. But in real sense, it is the other way around. Today, they just a week ago, they said they even accepted that they are the ones who killed the Israelites, their own people who are partying on the beach. You see, it's crazy. So the propaganda war is now with the people. And the best thing, guys, that you can do is stop watching the mainstream media. Those are the TV channels and all that. And you focus on maybe other things that are helping you grow.
But I still think it's important also to watch.
I
So
know.
that you understand. Do you know you are more educated when you have the other side of the story?
But I think it's good if you first avoid, because if you are there, they'll keep on giving you the false narrative. Like they said, Putin is bad. Putin is
China is
bad.
exploiting Africa.
Russia is killing Ukrainians. I don't know what. Then people listened to Putin and they looked at what was happening. Was like, no, it's the other way around. People, Israelites said, "Oh, Hamas are terrorists,
But don't you think?
and they are killing our people." Then after people looking into it, they were like, "No, it's just propaganda."
Exactly.
The person who has been killing the other is these Israelites are finishing the
Why?
people
Because
of
they
Gaza.
had two sides, so you can compare. You know, when you are only given facts, you don't expand your knowledge. You don't get to see there's a liar, there's truth. Do you know, when even yourself, when you are reading something, you are analytic about it.
Yeah.
It's like the way we read news. Yeah, we always analyze, what does this mean for Africa? What does this mean? You know, what does this really mean? All right, Marianne says more than half of Africa are very young, under 18. We need to support the youth, but it's our leaders who don't want to support the youth. Good education and good jobs.
Paimur, we see you. Peace and love too. We love you back.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah,
So
thank you
glad
for
that you have
coming.
live shows
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
Yay.
yeah,
Thank you
yeah.
so much for joining.
So what I was saying is, when you are, you know, when you are on YouTube or when you are on X or on Facebook, you see everything.
Mhm.
But with everything, you are able to discern, to look and say, this is what this have said, this is what these others
What's
have
the
said.
truth?
So it gives you the two sides of the coin.
Mhm.
But mainstream media will give you the side that
Mhm.
is paying them. And if you look, for example, mainstream media, even in Africa,
Mhm.
like even in Kenya, when there's the Ukraine-Russia war, they will tell you Russia is bad because it's like they are following the
Of
West.
course.
Okay, then they banned, even DSTV banned the Russian TVs and all that.
Mhm.
Then when you come to this time, when you go to South Africa, they will be able to give you the real picture and tell you Palestine has been going through apartheid,
Yeah.
you know.
Now it's
So
for you to
but it's
decide.
good that you go to the social media and not the mainstream media.
Let's go to Mary Ann's comment. That is my biggest issue,
Yeah.
worry. My biggest question is, we always hear statistics saying Africa is a young population, a young continent, a young whatever. Why can we not rally behind each other? You know,
As youth.
as youth, support each other, come together. Vusi Tembekwayo was like, young people of this age, of this generation, are busy worrying about hashtags, what is trending on X. You know, I don't even want to say some of these things that consume our time. Very useless things. Instead of you traveling or trying to get a hustle
Yeah.
that will enable you to travel to the next country and see what are Mozambican young people doing in their country? How can I save my country just through what Mozambicans are doing? I have been fortunate to see life in Southern Africa and in East Africa. Let me just share the facts, guys. When you have to compare life with between these two sides of Africa, you would see a huge difference. And until our young people are able to get out of their little their regional block
Yeah.
to the next one, you will never know what is happening in Africa. You will just be a keyboard warrior saying, I hate Nigerians. You don't even know what Nigerians are doing in their country, how they are living their life, how they're developing their country. So we are in trouble as young people, not supporting each other, fighting against each other.
Yeah. And Twitter hashtags.
Twitter hashtags. What's trending in Kenya? What's
Uganda
trending
versus
in
Kenya.
exactly memes and very useless things. Right now, there's somebody on Twitter trying to
Yeah.
see what is happening.
But I'm glad that we are
Mhm.
living in an era in which social media has made it very easy for us to mingle.
Access, yeah.
But
Even
what we
accessing
need
info.
to do, what we
Mhm.
need to do is create, avenues in
Mhm.
which young people are able to talk to each other and also meet.
Learn from each other.
Because I've seen some, when you go online and you're
Mhm.
looking at people tweeting and replying,
Mhm.
most people will be like they are closed, because they are so used to watching the mainstream media. So they don't think outside their box.
No.
You see, but if you can bring it closer to them and tell them it's not just Uganda.
Mhm.
There's another country called Chad, and this is happening. And
Exactly.
there are young people in Nigeria who are doing this, and you can
Exactly.
also do that.
Mhm.
Or you can support, for example, AfriX,
Mhm.
which is an app from Ghana.
Mhm.
You can support this app, which has been created by a young African.
Mhm.
So there's an app from Ethiopia. You can support it. So we rally behind, but you find us, rather than using AfriX, I want to use PayPal. I want to use Payoneer.
Mhm.
But rather than supporting our own, it's the
Mhm.
same thing. You find a young guy making very beautiful shoes in Ethiopia, but I don't want to buy that. I want to buy Gucci and show
Of
off.
course, LV. That is what
Yeah.
we believe. We believe is
Yeah.
class.
But what we need to do is probably, we like in music,
Mhm.
you find most Africans are supporting music, even if they don't understand what it's
Of course.
about.
Mhm.
Like we are supporting someone from South Africa, we don't know what he's saying, but we are enjoying the music.
Mhm. A South African is supporting someone from Tanzania.
Yeah.
Speaking Swahili, doesn't understand dancing.
Exactly.
You know.
Nigeria is speaking Igbo and some what is it called? Patois.
Yoruba.
No, the mix.
Oh,
Is it Patois? Or Patois is from Jamaica.
which mix?
Like the English from Nigeria.
Mhm.
So we are supporting it. We don't
What is
understand.
it called?
I don't
No,
remember.
man. I know
So
it.
So you see something like that. But
Mhm.
I know this, if there's something that people will really support,
Mhm.
something that is entertainment or it's hyping people, and people can use those avenues like music to bring these young people together.
Together.
So you bring innovation and technology which has been created by Africans, you bring it together with the entertainment so that the young people come there, and then we bring it down to the villages.
I think music has been done. Music is evidence that
Yeah,
it can unite
it
us.
can.
When Burna Boy goes to any other, say Kenya, say not Nigeria, South Africa, it will be fully packed.
Yeah.
Yeah. It shows that we support each other through music. But when it comes to other things, maybe it's a matter of sensitization. Maybe it's a matter of even creating avenues. Like we are here, guys. We are like, how many of us here? 7, 8. If we were to come together as Africans and be moving around, seeing what each and every one of us is doing, their hustles, learning from each other, that could be another way of supporting. But because there's no avenue for us to meet and greet and learn, then it becomes difficult.
Yeah.
These musicians have made it possible because they create their own concerts, they create their own what do you call these things, where they go and perform live recordings and performances, so it's easier for them to do that.
Yeah, and there's there's this book called it's called, what is it? I'm forgetting the book, but it says that when you want to do something that is difficult, you can use something that is easy.
How?
Like, for example, this is where I'm getting the idea. Like, people are being brought together by music. If you, like, Ruga from Nigeria came to Kenya and he was not in Nairobi, he went to Meru. Meru is in the rural areas of Kenya.
Yeah.
And the place who was performing was full. You see? So you can bring music, which is bringing people together, and merge it with the innovation, technology, that. So people who come because of the music they love, only to find this something else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like even expos where we can also be showing what young people are doing in that country. You have
Yeah.
expos where you have this
Expose.
musician,
Yeah.
exposes, you have this musician coming to pull the crowd,
Exactly.
and then you sell ideas to these young
Yeah.
guys, instead of us going there to meet them.
Muhideen, we see you. Thank you for joining. Then Paimu is saying, I hope that Niger wins over ECOWAS. They must, in order to keep the West from controlling their resources. That is very, very true. And Niger has already won.
But it's in trouble, man.
Yeah, but we've seen Burkina Faso is assisting a lot, and also Mali. And this Friday, yesterday, Abdurrahman Chiani went to Mali, and he went to Burkina Faso, because they had some things they were talking about. So they are planning things. And also we have seen Togo. Togo is also helping Niger, because Benin blocked these guys from using their port. So they are going through Togo. So I think things will work out. And as long as these people are leaving, the only guys who haven't left are the United States guys. They are still
The
there.
West double standard. When Russia cut water, electricity, and internet in Ukraine, they say it's a war crime. But when Israel does it, it's not a war crime.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very sad. And we've seen South Africa fighting for this and calling on ICC. ICC, it's a court that is used only to prosecute
Africans. That's my problem, right? Mom Naled is trying, guys. She's trying, man.
But
she's Mbogoto, but why?
But Muammar Gaddafi tried, and he lost his life. But there's something that I think it's either Thomas Sankara or Lumumba of Congo, Prime Minister, who said that you can kill the body, but you cannot extinguish an idea that has come into being. It will still come. So whatever Gaddafi was doing, inshallah, it will happen.
What is happening in Burkina Faso?
Yeah, it's that.
It's like a reincarnation. So same ideas and same vision for the country, and he's now executing whatever Thomas Sankara left. So if we live today, the next generation will take over. You can
Yeah.
never kill the vision. You can never kill the idea. So
Yeah,
that's how we move.
it will come to and that's why these guys are scared. And that European guy was showing us what is happening. We might not be shown by the rest, but we know that this is happening. They tried Putin and they lost it, and I'm sure, inshallah, Palestine will win. Well, just wait for it. It will win.
At this point, I just hope both of them can have a place to call home and, stop this nonsense. Because Israel, well, that's my view. I know some people are still believing that Israel,
It's very sad.
But now you can't. It's like a kid that has found himself in a home that he doesn't belong in. You cannot chase the kid out. The only thing you can do is maybe give them a piece of land. In African society, it's done. Even if the kid is not blood related to the family, they do give that kid some land to build their home and continue life. So that's the only thing we can hope for, honestly. All right, do you have anything to cover, or we can call it a
So
night?
probably we can celebrate. Okay, Niger president visited Mali and Burkina Faso. Then Ibrahim Traore is building a new gold refinery. Something we've never seen. Do they have gold refineries in South Africa?
Let me tell you something. So there's a comment that said, but this is not the first in Africa. We've seen it in Uganda, we've seen it in South Africa, in Kenya, in what's the other country? I forgot. I think it was 5 countries. And some Ugandan came and said, please come to Uganda and show me where in Uganda. I've never seen it. And then this guy failed to reply. And I'm also wondering, where in Kenya? Where is this gold refinery? Is it even working? Maybe there is. Maybe the building is there. Maybe, there's a facility. No, in Kenya. There's a facility. That's what the person said. In Kenya, in Uganda, South Africa, he counted a lot of countries.
Where they are called refineries.
Yes. Then we were wondering where and why are we not seeing these things work? If they are there. So, man, that was crazy.
But it's amazing what Ibrahim Traore is doing. And we wish that it would be done in Sudan so that they can start fighting. And Sudan is infiltrated by a lot of other things. So a brother from United States asked me, he wanted to come to Africa. He asked me, he wanted to come to Africa and visit, and he asked me, which countries in Africa there's no war? When in the US, there's a lot of propaganda on, hey, there's war in Africa, people in Africa live in caves. And he was asking me, which country in Africa
can I live in peace and harmony?
There's no war in Kenya. And I was explaining to him that the only places that there's war is Eastern Congo and Sudan. There's instability in Libya, but anywhere else in Africa you can visit. And was very worried.
There is a new anti-Putin sentiment. Anything that comes to wake up Africans or to help Africans grow, they don't want it.
They fight it.
They will have to fight it with whatever. So when you see Putin holding hands with African brothers, these leaders, and working in partnerships, that is not what they want.
But I also think it's because the people who are having these sentiments are watching the mainstream media. That is the craziest thing to do. And someone also said that they are using fluoride toothpaste.
That's another discussion.
Yeah, because they say that when you use fluoride, when you have fluoride entering your body, it ruins some part of the brain, which is the third eye. And with that, you are not able to discern the true from, the true from the false ones, and you fall victim of propaganda. It's called the pineal gland. Yeah. So someone said they are using fluoride toothpaste, probably. But Paimu said, why do they want so much gold? I don't know if it's the people of Burkina Faso or it's the
The
Europeans.
West.
The West wants the gold.
Why is gold so important to them?
Actually, someone showed the gold that is stored in vaults in France,
Yes.
underground,
Yeah.
and they keep this because gold is like, even when the dollar had standard gold standard, it was being pegged to gold. So it's like the most valuable metal that can be used for trade. Although they usually say diamond is more valuable than gold.
Any mineral, I think all minerals, they don't depreciate in value and in
Yeah, especially gold.
Yeah. So if you could store all of this gold, you would be the superpower of the world.
Yeah.
Because even 10 years from now, gold will be gold. But the dollar
will
might,
have deteriorated.
So they want the gold because of that, honestly. And Africans do not realize that this is something that we have. If we could keep it for ourselves and let it work to help us now and in the future, we could be far from these guys.
If we are able to keep our minerals, and sell some, for example, make rings, necklaces, those small things, and sell for our own for our own for our own benefit. So you are laughing at Paimon.
He needs an answer.
Yeah.
Just give him an answer. Yeah, so gold is, we are husband and wife, honestly. I don't think it's something to
It's not,
to laugh about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then we saw Kidal. Kidal is a town in northern Mali, was the headquarters of terrorists and the headquarters of the UN in Mali, and also the headquarters of the French military. And it was liberated after these guys were chased out.
Kidal is something else.
Kidal has a new governor who's apparently was also a friend of these guys when they were in the military. He was the one leading the army when they went to close to Kidal, and the French army was like, if you try to go there, we are going to shoot you dry. Yeah. So that's something to celebrate.
Kidal is victory.
Yeah.
Kidal is an example of unity, of what Africans can do, because I think they made us get scared of the fact that they have the arms, they are the better ones when it comes to military training and what do you call this? Fabulous. We need more of this. Yay. Hopefully we'll do this twice a month. I don't know.
We could do even once a day.
Inshallah. I don't want to promise that one.
Yeah, so guys, we are hoping that you are protecting yourself, because a lot of things are coming. Vaccines are coming, which are not so good. Until we make our own vaccines, medicines, you need to be very, very, very careful. You need to be safe. You need to protect yourself. Watch what you are eating, because when you get sick, you have to be given these vaccines. And we've seen vaccines in Burundi and Congo leading to polio in kids. We also saw some malaria vaccine leading to meningitis or something, somewhere in West Africa, I don't remember where. So we need to be very careful to protect us, our families, our kids.
Does this happen in Europe? Because I've never seen it.
No.
Do you see, like in Africa, you see Africans being employed? Thumbs up the video, everyone. Thank you so much. Please, please, thank you so much for that. Please thumbs up the video. In Africa, you see, most African countries, you see people carrying those vaccines, moving around door to door, vaccination for kids, even for adults. We saw during COVID. Why is it so much that they care that we vaccinate or we vaccinate our
Yeah,
kids,
yeah.
such that they will come to your door and knock. If you're in Europe, please, if you're in the US, do you see the same thing in your countries, you guys? Does it happen that they have to come to your door and knock and administer a vaccine to your kid for free? I usually
But
ask
do you know,
myself, why
even
is
if
it
it's
so
for-
important that
even if it's for free, the
Mhm.
government has already paid for it, and someone has made money out of
Mhm.
it. But my problem is, they will pretend that they want to help us,
Mhm.
and they will bring these free things,
Mhm.
free vaccines, but they end up ruining the lives of our people. Some people, maybe they cannot have kids, for example.
Mhm.
Kids get diseases, like someone said, that the global population is so high, and it requires reducing. Then the same person is developing one, a malaria vaccine, two, a mosquito that it's supposed to have a bacteria that when it bites the other mosquitoes, they die. You see?
We're in trouble.
Yeah. So we need to be very careful.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's end times, honestly.
Yeah. So we've been in 1 hour,
And it's been great to catch up with all of you. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for joining. I know some guys might not have seen that we will be live today, but we are hoping to do it. You said at least once a day.
once a day. Let's do it every Saturday. Every
Yeah, of course,
Saturday.
our frequent uploads are us having lives with you
Yeah.
guys because you are always here every day.
Yeah. So every Saturday we'll be putting it on the community. I think I forgot to put it on the community.
Oh, no, that's the
But it
problem.
was scheduled on live.
Okay.
And we see you next Saturday, inshallah.
Thank you so much. Come
Thank
back.
you.
And, when COVID came first, it doesn't want us to leave.
Yeah.
All right. You
When
want to
COVID
leave?
first came out, they went to certain areas and outside of the main cities and offered lots of money to people to take it. Wow.
Why is
Wow.
that? What? Money.
Yeah.
It even got to money. Wow. And the way I'm still skeptical about these COVID vaccines, and then imagine you took that money and then get affected by it. You're like,
Yeah.
oh
Because
my
people
goodness,
are
what my
really
soul.
being affected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? All right. Guys, please, we'll see in the next one. Hopefully next Saturday.
Come with a friend.
Inshallah.
Yeah, we'll send link tomorrow. We'll post it on the community, and you can help us share.
I live in New York. Oh,
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Paying you to take a vaccine.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
yeah.
Guys, the next one, I think we can have them join us live.
Yeah.
People like
Yeah. We can have.
Paimur.
Yeah, we
I'm
can
so
have.
sorry.
We can have you guys join us on the
we'll
live.
discuss some of these
We
issues.
discuss. After 10 minutes, another one comes in.
Yeah. All right. Have a good, I don't know what time it is, wherever you are. Good day, good evening, good night, good morning, good rest of the day. It's almost midnight wherever we are, so it's time to call it a night. We'll see you in the next one, hopefully next Saturday. Next Saturday. Yeah.
Thank you so much. We love you so much, and may God be with you. May the Most High be with you. We see you in the next one.
And if you have a topic that you'd love us to discuss, please make sure you let us know in any of the comment section. We'll be glad to discuss that in the next one. Bye. Guys.